Well, good morning. It's time for church. Reverend Gay here with the Alpine Church of Spiritual Living. And I wanted to first share with you, before I get into our topic for the morning, of my thought for the week. Normally when we are in church, we read this thought for the week. And for whatever reason, the one I wrote for this week did not get published in the newspaper. He picked an older one. So I wanted to share this one with you because if you just see it in the newspaper, you won't have seen this one. So it says, our world has been rocked over the last couple of weeks. A pandemic setting in as we enter the spring of 2020 could not have been foreseen. Life is not usual as we've come to know it. Many are hunkering down and waiting out the storm of spreading the virus. I believe it's all well and good to take precautions and follow guidelines. I also feel it is important to raise our sights above and beyond the immediate panic so we can remember God is in control and in charge, and all is well. How about taking a nice deep breath right now and repeat that statement with me? God is in control and in charge, and all is well. My theme for this month is service, and my Sunday talk is entitled As I Give. Following the guidelines, our church will be dark until March 31st. Well, probably maybe longer than that, I'm guessing now. But you can still hear my message that will be recorded on our website, alpinechurchofspiritualliving.org, and on Facebook. We are made to give and to serve. We are hardwired to lend a hand where we see a need. It's tough to isolate ourselves, so perhaps these are the times when we can think about reaching out with a phone call, text, or email to friends and family to give support and encouragement. Perhaps we can offer to run an errand for someone. As I write this, it's St. Patrick's Day, a day to celebrate the saint who is credited with bringing Christianity to Ireland. Of course, the more familiar way to celebrate is by wearing of the green and raising a glass to toast the luck of the Irish. I'm sure the celebrations will be curtailed this year. However, since I'm 50% Irish, I can say that I keep the faith and know there is light at the end of this tunnel. Remember, over 1,200 times in the Bible it is stated, it came to pass. This too shall pass, and we will have learned and grown and become more experienced than we were previously. Say with me, I hold fast to the truth that God is in charge and all is well. I am able to roll with the tide and reach out to others as I can. We are all connected with this golden thread of divine energy, and so as I give, I do receive, and it is so. So let's go ahead and let's center ourselves for just a little bit here and go within, close our eyes, open our hearts, open our awareness to this divine, to this loving energy, breathing our breath and beating our hearts, closer than hands and feet. Just take a moment to settle into the comfort of that divine energy, that golden glow of love and light that is emanating directly from our heart, sending out that brightness, that lightness through our whole being, scattering and shooing away any darkness, any worry, any concern. And just be engulfed and enlivened by this loving energy. It's the energy of peace as well. So we are just letting go, knowing all is well, and having a very, very grateful and thankful heart that God is in charge, love is in charge, peace and order prevail. And for this, we are ever so grateful. I say thank you, Mother, Father, God. And together we say, and it is so. Amen. Well, Charles Dickens, when he wrote his epic novel, A Tale of Two Cities, it was written in 1859. It starts with the words, "It was the best of times, and it was the worst of times. That seems to be appropriate for these times. We have come into a phenomenon that we have never experienced before. It's a global one as well. With our internet availability, we are so much more in touch with everything that's going on in the world today. And so we've been asked to be prudent, to try to stop the spread of this virus by hunkering down, by staying at home. If we do go out to get our necessities, we're keeping our social distance. I saw someone from our church on Facebook said, you know, the shopping cart is just the perfect distance between, that's the social distancing that we should have. And so we are in the best of times and in the worst of times. And it's up to us to make the decision of what it's going to be for us. It's a global phenomenon, and it makes me realize how small this world really is, how connected we really are with one another. As I wrote in the thought, and I just read, that God is in charge. Love is in charge. There really isn't any need for concern or consternation. As in the Course of Miracles says, I can choose peace over this. One of the things that I read every day, and I know I've shared these with you many times, are the readings from Eileen Cady called Opening Doors Within. And I wanted to share with you the one from today, actually. When you long to do the right thing and take the right path, you will do so. You must be strong to be able to withstand the temptation which may beset your way and to recognize them for what they are. Every temptation overcome gives you a deeper and inner strength and stability, making you able to face anything without wavering. My ways are very strange, but remember that I see the whole of the picture, whereas you only see such a small portion of it. I see all the actors in the play of life. You only see the ones nearest at hand. One by one I point the way to them, and they follow it and take their part in the whole vast overall plan, and so the plan unfolds in perfect, true perfection. Watch it unfold, and glory in the wonder of it. Accept it all with a full and grateful heart, and see my hand in all that is taking place. What a good reminder to know that God is in charge and that all is well. We all are, though, at choice. We have been given this free will. And so we can look around and we can see what's happening, and we can choose peace or we can choose the other. I'm reminded of Chicken Little. You know, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And he, talked everybody up into it. In fact, one of my friends was saying that they had a talk with their doctor, called, and again, these things are all over the phone and whatnot. And he was saying, probably a good idea not to watch the news. Which, I get a snippet of it here and there again, but to remember that we are at choice and we are creating our consciousness every moment, and that we are vibrational beings, and what we are emanating from within us goes out to us, and that is reflected back to us. So our theme this whole month has been service, because I wanted again to honor our volunteers, to honor those people that give all the time, and today's topic actually is As I Give. And of course the unspoken second half of that is, as I give, so do I receive. And so we find ourselves in this opportunity to remember that there is this power within me. There's power all around me. There are wonderful angels all around me that are eager to lead me and to guide me into this fullness that we are already. We are this perfection already. We just need to let go of the layers. was it Michael Beckwith, I think, said that that our spiritual maturity, going up to the next level of spiritual maturity, is all about letting go of something, letting it go. So last night actually, I got a hint from somebody on my text, on my email, I think it was, and said, hey, there's something going on tonight. You want to check it out? So I did. It's called Global Days of Unity. And this was started back in 2012. Do you remember how 2012 was supposed to be some major, wonderful year? And I never really determined that it was anything that special. But the energy that started this gathering, it's called Global Days of Unity, started in 2012. That was 7 years ago. Isn't 7 the number of completion? We're at 2020 now. And so it was fabulous. It lasted almost 2 hours. It was 1 hour and 45 minutes. And it's recorded. It was done on Zoom. So you can pull it back up and watch it if you want. But they had Bruce Lipton on there. They had Michael Beckwith on there and several others that some of them I didn't recognize. But Bruce Lipton was talking about the fact that our brains, our thoughts, send out an energy. He said it can be determined, this vibrational energy can be determined, I think he said 12 inches away from us. The energy of the heart, that vibrational energy goes out further, 18 to 24 inches from our center. And so we want to remember, what are we emanating? What are we putting out from our heart? Are we putting out this knowing that I am one with love? That there is no room, no need for fear? That whatever has to transpire, I am able to do it. I mean, look at me. I'm sitting here in my office, videotaping this on my phone that's going to be uploaded. And I've never done that in my life, really. And so all of us are going to be challenged to learn and grow and be and demonstrate more of this infinite being than we ever have. We've also been given, what a gift. I don't know how many people I've talked to, what a gift to be able to slow down, to hunker down. And as Michael Beckwith said, he said, we don't want to go back to normal. We're not going back to normal. Well, I sure hope we get Padres back. I would like to have the Padres season. But this is an amazing time that we are part of. And we need to lend our higher consciousness to it. And we need to recognize that we are now light workers and that we have a job to do. I wanted to share with you some of the insights that Michael Beckwith said. I've got them, the quotes here. He said, let this be a pause that resets and refreshes. Let us go from emergency to emergence. Doesn't that sound like him? As ourselves, what good is here that I can see? And so we say to ourselves, what good is here that I can see? He said then static. Oh yes, static is on the line. If we're static on the line, static means it's fear, question, worry, concern. That's static. And we can pause and listen to the heart. That removes the static. That will clear the lines, and then we'll be able to see the good. So it's a challenge to be able to look and see what good is happening. I saw something on the internet that there were 15 good things that were happening. And it was a channel I'd never seen before, something about good guys or something like that. All sorts of things that are available right now when we open our consciousness, our awareness to it. On this program that I watched last night, and you can see it again, pull it up, there was a woman that did a meditation. By the way, stick out the very beginning of it. The very beginning of it is a little tenuous, and but stick that part out. Then comes the meditation, and then comes the panel at the end. So all those information. So anyway, the lady that was doing the meditation was great. And some of the things that she mentioned was that she said that when she was little, when she was learning to swim, and she would dive into the water, she learned that if she was blowing the air out of her nose or nostrils when she dove in the water couldn't come in. So what she was talking about, how she related that, was the fact that if we are putting out love energy, if we are putting that out, that negative status, fear energy can't come in. I thought that was really a good analogy. And so we can't let that static come in. The other point that she made that hit me was that she said, when you go into a dark room and you can't see, what do? You turn on the light. When the light is on, then you can see. When we turn our light on, our light of loving energy on, ta-da, then we can see. Oh my gosh. So I'm a member of the Alpine Women's Club, and that is over 100 members in strength. And of course, we're dark. Everybody's, we're not meeting, of course. And I got a phone call from one of the gals in the club. Now, I don't know. I mean, I know her, but she's not a friend of mine, really, or anything. She's an acquaintance. I know her name. I see her face. She called. She said, I'm calling everybody on the roster just to check, see how they're doing. If they need anything, I'm able and ready and willing to go do an errand for them. And I thought, how cool. And I thanked her. I said, thank you. Thank you for reaching out. And I think we'll see that more and more and more of reaching out. We have the opportunity now, as we hunker down, to have more time to call friends and family, to have more time to do our meditation, our deep meditation of going within, of reading more. I've picked up Joel Goldstein. Woo! Wow. Talk about a deep read. I love him. Love him, love him. I have more time to, I have a jigsaw puzzle going. Yeah, it's only 300 pieces, but, that's okay. And I'm cleaning out my paperwork. Okay, so here's the confession. I know if you were with me in January, I said since I'm retired from my day job, I am now going to clean out all my file cabinets, right? And I'll have it done by the first day of spring. Well, the first day of spring was, on my calendar, was the 19th of March, last week. On the 19th of March, I found myself on the floor in the hallway in front of these file cabinets. There's 2 drawers. So I'm on the floor, pulling everything out of them. I was just starting the process. I didn't get it done, obviously, in one day. So now I'm regrouping, and I'm saying that I'm going to have all my paperwork done by the beginning of summer. And I have made some progress. And so we do have the opportunity to do things like that. I have some friends telling me that they're organizing their recipes. Oh my gosh, how great is that? Yesterday, I was supposed to be performing a wedding ceremony for someone. A couple that, had this all planned. And, of course, it didn't happen. And it's a disappointment. There are lots of disappointments, lots of things. High school proms and you name it. Celebrations of life. I guess you can't have a funeral now. So it's a very interesting time that we're living in. And remember that this too shall pass. And we are not going back to business as normal. We are not going back to the way it was, especially if we can anchor ourselves more in this depth of love that we are, and opportunity for growth, for expansion of consciousness. Now, some of us will be ready for us, and some of us will not be ready for it. So I'm saying let's be ready for this expansion in consciousness. I figured I can still take my walks because I walk every day. I'm by myself. I'm not being around anybody. But I went to the post office yesterday to see if there were any donations in our mailbox. And sure enough, there were. So I was very pleased. Thank you all for remembering to remember that we are still there to have to pay our bills and so forth. So, and then I walked over to the church, which is just, a little bit away, and to put the tithes and the offering in the place where the treasurer is going to come pick it up and make the deposit. So, but as I approached the church, I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but in the front of the building, an Eagle Scout actually did a project where he built this nice box with plexiglass covering on it, and it's a local pantry. So he asked people to fill it up, and if you need something, take it out. Well, every other time when I pass, this pantry's full up to the yin yang. It's just totally full. I thought, does anybody even know the thing's here? Does anybody ever use it? Well, guess what? Yesterday, the thing had been used. I mean, the doors were open totally. There were about 5 cans of something on one of the shelves, and that was it. Somebody, though, had put on the ground a whole case of some sort of canned goods that were sealed, with plastic. But other than that, the thing was empty. And I thought, well, yes, somebody's discovering it. And here you see, this is something, again, that we can recognize that we can give. So I made a mental note. Oh, I can come back over here because it looks like it needs to be replenished at this point. I've got stuff in my cupboard that, I can come back over here and put some more things in here. So it gives us the opportunity to stop and think, how can I give? Because as I give from the fullness of that I am, then I receive. I wanted to tell you the Science of Mind magazine has just been fabulous this month, especially the last couple readings. And so I wanted to share with you the one literally of today. Because it goes along so much with my theme of us giving and receiving and being of help, being of service to each other. So it starts with a quote from a Kristen Hunter. First, it is necessary to stand on your own 2 feet. But the minute a man finds himself in that position, the next thing he should do is to reach out his arms. Love it. Isn't that great? And then a quote from Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind. As I love and cooperate with my fellow man, so does he love me and give his cooperation to me. Joe, a resident of Marietta, Georgia, noticed an elderly Vietnam veteran neighbor wheezing from emphysema while he was battling the overgrown weeds in his yard. Joe learned that if his neighbor didn't clean up the weeds, the county would take action against him. Joe mobilized his neighbors, who arrived with chainsaws and brush cutters, and the crew of 20 spent 3 days clearing the yard. One state over in Birmingham, Alabama, Waffle House employee Ben unexpectedly found himself working alone on a night shift. 30 hungry people were waiting to eat. He was trying to take orders, cook, serve tables, and wash dishes all by himself. Seeing his predicament, a customer headed to the kitchen, grabbed an apron, and began washing dishes. Another came back to make coffee. Others bussed tables. Customer Ethan Crispo observed the scene while he waited for his waffles. Later, he told a Today Show reporter, "Humanity truly isn't good. It's great. Humanity is great, indeed, and we are wired to help and nurture one another. It is, most times I imagine, an unconscious acknowledgement of our oneness." Those who reach out to help strangers are living out the oneness that is part of our spiritual DNA. Furthermore, people feel good about helping each other. I believe that the helper gets more out of the help than the one being helped. It's a win-win. Grace is defined as the giving of spirit to its creation. When we help each other, we live in grace. And the affirmation. As I help, I am helped in my growing awareness and embodiment of my oneness with all life. We are at a critical tipping point at this point, I believe, in our global evolution. I think that the more we recognize right now that there is only wholeness, there is only oneness, that we are connected divinely with everything, with everyone, with every bit of earth, with every animal, with every bird, with everything that exists in this earth plane and beyond. So I want you to stop and think this week, to think about as I give, so I receive. Remember to connect to your heart of hearts and let that love and that light shine brightly, beaming through you. You will be so blessed, as will our whole global planet. I love you. Have a fantastic week. Namaste.